everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. Please help me welcome my wonderful co-hosts for Golden Girls Coffee Klatch. We've got Cleo, also known as Dorothy. We've got Judie, which is Rose's cousin.
Cousin, yeah.
Yeah. And our wonderful friend Shari, she's with us in the chat. She's not here with us live because she really is feeling, under the weather. So what she needs now is just to lay back, relax, sleep, let your body do what it wants to do. And yeah, hopefully get rid of the cough and all that good stuff. So yeah, if you can send Shari some healing energy, I'm sure she will welcome it. So anyway, I do want to remind you guys, first of all, thank you so much for being here with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I do have everyone's contact info in the description of the video. So I'll make sure that you go ahead and do that because it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. And
that's right.
Yeah, it's free, absolutely free. And no tariff is attached to it. Bonus. Yeah.
I love your humor.
Yeah. So there. Just I would say hello to everyone, but my gosh, there's 53 of you in here right now, and
Wow.
The notices just went out. So hey. Also want to remind you that if you are interested in getting a reading from any of us, reach out. Just reach out, and we'll send you the information and kind of take it from there. So that's that. All righty. So, Cleo, what's been happening in your world?
Not a lot. I've spent less time on YouTube, so I'm just doing a couple of shows a week.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as any shows, I don't think I've got another show coming up until next week when you and I do kitchen table issues on Thursday.
Yep.
But I think it could come up. But I haven't been doing any shows off my channel for a long time, and it's probably going to go that way for the rest of the year because I've got stuff to do. But anyway, yeah,
yes.
Kitchen table issues, and then of course Golden Girls. I've been sticking with that. And if anybody's interested, a week from tomorrow, the Cool Crone's having a big Halloween party. So I don't know.
Fun.
I don't know if she's calling it a polyterology or an if she's even got a name for it, but I know that her and Shari, they've been cooking stuff up, and I'm sure it'll be fun. It'd be a lot of fun on Halloween.
Yes, on Halloween, totally. And she is having it early enough that I can attend and don't have to rush, and I'm still going to have time to do Story in the Cards with Allie. So life is good.
Yay.
Everything is functioning well. So we've got that. And how about you, Julie? What have you got going on?
Actually, just finished a live with Celtic Tarot Sheila and went from that to hopped on here. And honestly, coming up, I'm keeping things a little bit loose because there's a lot of medical drama going on in my family that I may not be able to commit to a whole lot the next couple of weeks. So I've got my class on Sunday. We are coming up on class 4 of 5. So we're getting there. It's been going really well. Teaching people all about energy stuff, and it's been doing great. But a few more collaborations that are in the works, but not solid yet. But also kind of depends on which hospital I need to be at the next couple of weeks.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. So tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I'm having Jean, Sun Psychic Jean is going to join me, and we're going to be doing some readings and, just kind of catch up and see what everybody's up to and that kind of stuff. And then on Saturday is the 11th Shine Your Light event. So that starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think it's 3:30 Pacific time.
Yes.
So yeah, make sure that you come on over, enjoy the good energy. Got some lovely people that are going to be joining me. So and fabulous energy. I really, really enjoy the energy. So looking forward to that. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m., I've got Sheila, Celtic Terror. Sheila is going to be joining.
Hey.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a minute since we've done a show, and the last few that we did were just absolutely fabulous. We did some things that were a little out of the ordinary, and it was so much fun. I'm hoping we can do it again. So, but anyway, that's this week. And as for next week, you'll have to go over to the channel and check under the posts, and I'll put my schedule up. You'll know what I'm up to. So there. The other thing I do want to mention is if you're interested in booking a reading or taking a class, there you go. It's marinasheartcentertarot.com. And you can go on there, take a look and see what's on offer. Look at the testimonials. People want to know, am I a good reader? Well, I can tell you I'm a good reader, but that doesn't mean anything. Of course I'm going to say that. Like my child is the handsomest, smartest, brightest, most intelligent child on the face of the earth.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. So go over and check some of the things that, others have said, because, not just because. Okay. So there we are. Business end of things out of the way. And so where are we going to start? We're spoiled for choice. Like, it's like taking a dart and throwing it at something, and you're going to hit pay dirt. Like the odds are ever in your favor. So
I'm wondering if so I feel like it's going to come down to the states finally standing up against federal, and maybe because that's probably what it's going to take. And they're starting to, like, Pritzker is, starting his thing, and Newsom, and I'm feeling Oregon is going to step up here and make a statement. But are they all going to start to band together to stand up against, like the National Guard and the police actually protecting the citizens, which is what they're supposed to do, against the illegal actions of federal? What that's going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the time has come that people are going to need to pick a side, and they're going to need to be informed rather than just opinionated. Being opinionated today doesn't do anything. It doesn't mean that you know what's going on. My thought, and it's funny, I was thinking about this earlier today. Wouldn't it be funny if all the blue states, the ones that are being attacked from all sides, we're going to take away your food stamps and your SNAP and this and that, if you don't, get in line and do what you're told. What if all those blue states said, okay. You know what? That federal money that you're expecting us to send you the end of the month?
That's right. That's right. And the blue states we send money to all the red states anyway. They will drown without our money. So fine, we'll pool together our resources, just like we're doing, like Oregon, California, Washington, and Hawaii are banding together for their own healthcare program and their own trade agreements. Because we're port states. We can trade with Mexico, Canada, China, whomever we want, because we're a port. So, okay, you want to play that game? Okay.
You know, and I love it that all the governors in the West Coast states and Washington, Oregon, and California and Hawaii are
Mhm.
coming together to create something so that we still have some kind of health insurance, some kind of coverage. And the thing about the food, this is just inhumane that they are threatening to take away food from people.
Yes.
You know, not only do you know, you're not going to have any insurance if you get sick. Now you're not going to be able to eat, and of course you're going to get sick.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know exactly what they're going to do about the food stamp thing, but I mean that's coming up pretty soon, and they think it's going to
November
force.
1st.
They think that it's going to force the Democrats to turn around and give in to whatever it is they want for the budget, and I don't feel that that's what's going to happen. But you know, we may end up not having food benefits for a while, and that's going to make a lot of people cranky. Now, you take away, you know, their insurance, you take away their food, you put them in a position where they've probably lost their job, so now they don't have a roof over their head. You're going to have a lot of people that just start getting crazy because
Yep.
it's too much. It's just too much.
Which is what he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you know, sometimes you can take a thought only so far. And if you don't complete the thought so that you know what all the consequences are, that's when you end up making mistakes. And I think part of the issue with the GOP is they they think that they have got everyone convinced that it's the Democrats that are doing all this.
Oh, but the people know it's already out there. The people know the Democrats, you know,
Yeah.
they know it's not the Democrats. And
They
so,
do, and they're going to be looking for it once the food stamps are taken away, once the SNAP is gone. They're going to be asking, okay, who do I talk to? But I need my stuff back. Who do I talk to? Are the Republicans then going to say, oh no, we'll get it back for you? You will? How? How?
They
You're not
don't
in
know.
Congress. How are
They
you
have
going
a
to do that?
concept of a plan.
Yes, the concept of a plan.
that's what they've been basing things on since
Mhm.
January, a
Yeah.
concept of a plan,
Yes,
you know. But this, you know, it's just amazing to me how inhumane this whole thing is getting. So
very
when
much.
if they just want to push everybody into a corner and tell them, yeah, you know, which is the Democrats' fault, and they're just like, no, it's not. Which, by the way, I loved how things went with the big protests, the No King protests
Yes.
across the country. You know, I'm just, it's amazing how the people are reacting to this kind of stuff. And what did Trump say? I thought what I heard was that, you know, he heard that there was like 7 million or more. There's probably a lot more than 7 million that protested that day and the No King Day. And he said, man, so what?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
what? You know, he doesn't care. He could care
No.
less about what's
Well,
going on.
he does because
He's
he
got a
made that
ball.
video.
He's got a ballroom to build for crying out loud.
The priorities.
Why
Hello.
should he worry about if somebody's going to eat or if somebody's going to get health care? My goodness, no. We've got to
Yeah.
have a big,
Yeah.
gaudy ballroom.
Yeah.
And this ballroom thing to me is just, I couldn't believe that he took it to the extreme where we're looking on the news and we see half the Capitol
Yes.
taken apart. It's just like it got bombed. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just it is just
Yep.
insanity.
Yep. The
Uh,
demolition. Got to get rid of it. Got
The
to get rid of it.
plans, if you've seen the picture plans, it mirrors Russia's ballroom. It's the
oh,
same.
Oh,
really? I know, I didn't
Same
know
I'm
thing.
that.
shocked.
I know, right? Shocking.
I'm shocked. Yeah, that's he's never going to dance in that ballroom. I'll tell you that right
No.
now. He's not. Yeah, he's not going to make it to that. And whether or not it really gets built is again, and the entertainment purposes only. What do I know? I read tarot cards online.
Mhm.
But when you start messing around with people's food and their shelter and their paycheck, they don't really care what party you belong to. They get angry. They want their money.
And when the
Ask
money's
for
going to
what?
Argentina.
Yes.
Well, and it's threatening their kids. You know, they've
Yes.
got kids to take care of, kids to feed, kids to
Yeah.
house. And the government says, well, no, we just took away all kinds of programs. We
Yes.
fired as many people as possible. And that just keeps going. And the courts go along with it.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
something really wrong with the courts of just, they keep allowing Trump to do anything he wants to. So you know that they're
Yes.
all in cahoots. They want the dictator. They want the king.
They do. They do for now. Absolutely. Because he is the only thing that is keeping them out of jail. He's the only thing that is protecting them
That's true.
from the backlash of the people. But you know what? What goes around comes around. It is going to happen. And yeah, hold on, where Shari said, yeah, and yeah, she said, I heard a doctor state today that he gives the current occupant 6 to 8 months left. Yeah. And that was a good stretch if he makes it that far. So there you go. We're not the only ones.
Right, but if something does happen to him and Vance gets in there, this is just what I don't want. And then I keep thinking, quit thinking that way, because the minute you think that way, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I've heard some other people on here, other psychics that were talking about Vance, and they've got him sitting in the Oval Office, and I'm like, when did this happen? Something is amiss. So, I know everybody thinks that he's going to get sick and for one way or another have to be removed. But then we've got to deal with the other people that can't, we can't allow, they really can't allow that. And maybe for a week or so, but after that, there's got to be something going on. By the way, I just read briefly a little blurb about Jack Smith and that he wants to testify before Congress, but he wants it to be an open thing. He wants everybody to hear what he has to say. I am just dying to see how this goes.
Oh,
I want to see that discovery so bad.
Oh, yeah. National secrets. He's going to talk about national secrets. We can't have that. Why not?
Mhm.
Why
Yeah,
not?
when he's going to talk about those documents that ended
Yes.
up down in Mar-a-Lago, and then and then we got to think about Aileen Cannon. What was she up to? Why did she allow this to happen? Why did she dismiss it?
Money, power.
Apparently, but I mean, it hasn't. I don't. It hasn't changed much for her. She just in his corner, no matter what.
Yes.
Well, he got her the job without
Oh
an
yeah, he
exchange.
gave her the job.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. She's been bought and paid for from day one. But isn't it funny? You don't hear too much about her.
You don't hear a thing about her because
not anymore.
they got rid of the document problem. They just dismissed it, and that was it.
Yeah.
We don't hear about it anymore. Jack Smith, I tell you, he seems to know quite a bit about that particular thing. As a matter of fact, some of the information he has is basically all the information in regards to that has not been mentioned ever out in public. So this is what I can't wait to hear and see
Mhm.
I know. Yeah.
when they
Judge
bring
Judge
up this stuff.
Cannon, I got a question for you. And just inquiring minds want to know. But there's Rose Blue left a comment, and I'd like to, this is definitely worth looking into. That apparently Putin fled to the Ural Mountains after drones rained down on Moscow. Inner Kremlin are fleeing the country.
I did hear about the drones raining down on Moscow, so it wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if Putin definitely did leave.
Wait, oh,
But all of them, yeah, it's getting so tense, and of course, Trump is saying, "Well, now we're going to finally do something about sanctions and the oil companies and anybody that's helping them out. They're all going to be in trouble." And I'm like, yada yada yada. How many times have we
exactly.
heard this? And it just goes nowhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I hope for once, that Trump needs to be helping out Ukraine because it's not going to stop. I mean, as much as he wants to sit around and say that he has brought 8 countries out of war, that they're not in war anymore because of what he did. No, that's not true. It's
He
right
just
along with
makes
Israel and Gaza. I mean, there's still things going
Yes.
on that there's still wars going on. All
Ex-
they did with that thing is they let go of some of the hostages. Then I know everybody wanted to make a big deal about, hey, not all of them showed up, and well, no, because some of them are buried under buildings. They probably won't ever show up. But yeah, this is just craziness that he's so busy talking about what he's done, which again, that's why he wants the ballroom, because then he can go into the ballroom and tell all these rich people, look what I've done, and with your help we got this wonderful ballroom, and now we can just get blitzed and dance the night away. I mean, it's just so bizarre, so bizarre that during that, with this kind of climate, with the tariffs, with the recession, with the inflation, with all of these goofy things that are going on caused by Trump, that's terror caused by Trump, and then they're just going to let this go. They're
Mhm.
just going to look around like, okay, well, this is a good thing. Let's build a ballroom and talk about that. Again, he is trying to avoid the Epstein files, and I just see those things just like they're like a little virus in itself. They're just inching their way
Absolutely.
into the into the public eye.
Absolutely. Particularly because Virginia
Kufre.
Judie, yeah, her book is out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you can't hurt her at this point. You can
Mm-hmm.
threaten her. She's no longer on this plane. So what are you going to do? You're going to sue her? Good luck. There's I think people are going to get really, really afraid the more that the longer that book is available. I think there's enough information in it that she may not come out and say, John Doe was there, but she's going to give you a description of John Doe that you're going to know exactly who she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, people are going to start to get a little worried. And part of what made me realize the impact of her book was the fact that yes, it was earlier this week or latter part of last week that Buckingham Palace announced that Prince Andrew was losing his titles.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going to be Prince Andrew, but he doesn't have the other titles, and there's a lot of things that he gave up, and blah 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 blah. And he and Fergie, where they have been living, yeah, they're basically being kicked out. So, um, that the fact that they would go to that extent just before the book came out, even
Mm-hmm.
as Andrew is, he's still saying, I never even met her. Yeah, this picture of me
Right.
with my arm around her, I don't know. I don't know.
So
So,
I'm curious about Fergie though, because she wasn't she like best friends with Diana
yeah.
and I mean like her major confidant, and I always thought she was supposed to be a good person, and like clearly she had to know about this. Did she just because it's royal and that's just the tradition going back to back in time to forever, did she just have to deal with it, or did she condone it? Like what's her role in all of this? I'm really curious.
Yeah, um, they have a very strange relationship, Andrew and
Mm-hmm.
Fergie, even though they have been divorced for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
They've never maintained separate residences. They've always lived in the same residence, and that was, for the sake of the daughters. Okay, I can see that,
You didn't
but
have a cancel. You could be an agent.
yeah, yeah. But she was, on more than one occasion, she was caught trying to sell access to Andrew to other people. I think she is in it up to her neck, and she
Dang,
probably
okay.
knew exactly what he was up to and said, "Hey, as long as I'm the Duchess of York, I really don't care."
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it doesn't
she
affect
was.
them directly. They don't care, right?
No. No, and they were, for the longest time, they were insulated because Andrew is, or was, the Queen's favorite son. She
Mhm.
shielded him. She protected him. She, did everything she could not to put attention on him. Some of the things that are coming up now, and of course, entertainment purposes only, I'm only repeating what others have said. I remember watching an interview, and this was at some point last year, I think, where a couple of the people who worked for Andrew, particularly closely with him in terms of, being servants within his bedroom. Let's put it that way. That he had a schematic of all his teddy bears, and there was a list to follow on these 30, 40, 50 teddy bears, exactly where they had to be placed on the bed, and
See what cameras?
who was supposed to touch who, and whose paw was going to be on the pillow, and what. And he would apparently have a conniption if anything was not exactly the way that he wanted it. Yeah, that
Nothing weird about that.
So
nothing at all.
What in the
they were
world?
probably like nanny cams. Is that the deal?
Something along those
Ew.
lines. But yeah, it was not good. Yeah,
Mm.
it did not paint him in a favorable light. And the fact that even after all this time, he paid Virginia off. He settled
Mhm.
with,
Oh yeah.
and
Mhm.
he still maintains no, that he's innocent of all that.
Well, same with F-45. There's court documents of
Yeah.
him settling out of court and paying off because they couldn't. I mean, he keep people in court until they can't pay anymore, and then forces them to settle. But you can find public documents of what was said against F-45 and how he treated girls too, and he was brutal. I mean,
Yes.
which big surprise, but he was brutal, and that him just him paying them off to be quiet. And yeah, it's just so how the megas don't like I it kills me, like, while I'm upset about the White House, it kills me that that's their linchpin. Like, that's the straw that
Yeah.
breaks the camel's back, is that him being an abuser isn't a thing, or a pedophile isn't a thing, or trafficking or embezzling, or all of the stuff that he does, the corruption and the grifting and everything else, they blow off. But the White House, they're going to pick the beats. It's like, what
That's
about
the hill I'm going to die on.
yeah, it's so weird. I don't know. I mean, I get why they're upset, but not on anything else, which is what I don't get.
Yeah, totally. No, I think this is going to be eye-opening for a few people. I think there are some people that are just going to kind of go underground and be a little silent for the next little while. They're not going to say too much, that's fine.
Well,
And
when it comes to Andrew, the Queen is turning over in her grave.
mm,
She just absolutely did not like what was said to her about him, and so she put her foot down. And when they say that he's not going to have his whatever it is, that he's being removed from something in the palace or whatever,
mhm,
that I thought he already was. I thought
yeah,
that that's what the Queen did a long time ago, but
yeah,
um
yeah.
I don't know if they're talking about something even different than that. But I just remember when Fergie and Diana both were in the spotlight, and God, they were just having it was their heyday. I mean,
Yeah.
they were really having a good time. And then Fergie kind of fell from grace, and then Diana was killed, and so
Mhm. Yeah.
everything fell apart. So I don't know what she's up to now. She just looks to me like she just hung on to the royalty and got old. I mean, like, she really hasn't done much of anything.
Yeah.
No, no, she hasn't. But I mean, she got a free place to live, really.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, living on in close to Buckingham Palace and all that kind of stuff. No, she wrote that for what it's worth, and I think um, she has defended him, and she's going to continue to defend him, which is, you know, quite the thing to saddle your children with. That
Well, and
yeah,
I think they grew up with like knowing the stories of old of this is just how it is. A king
yes,
gets to do whatever he wants.
yeah,
The queen or the princesses or whomever
yeah,
cannot, but all the men can, and they can. This has been going on since the dawn of time with the royals. So this is
right,
nothing new to them. They grew up with this information. That's
Yes.
just how it is.
yep, absolutely. Well, here's something that I was reading about earlier, and that is uh, Vladimir Zelensky is meeting with some European banks, and he is asking them to um, release billions of euros that are being held in a Belgian clearinghouse, and he wants to use that Russian cash to buy himself some long range missiles. Let's put an end to this war real quick. The banks they're listening.
They're considering.
They're considering.
Wow. Good. This
So
this could be this could be the tipping point.
this could be the tipping point. And I think that he really didn't have much choice. I mean, he approached Trump, who promised him that he was going to get him some of those missiles, that tomahawks. And when Zelensky showed up, you know, Trump said, "Oh, sorry, I only have a few, and I need them." You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
so he kind of forced his hand, and this is Russian money um, that was seized by the banks from the oligarchs, from the government, and so on and so forth. They're part of the sanctions, and yes, the oligarchs profit from the wars and all that. So
Mhm.
if it's going to go anywhere, that's exactly where it should go. It should go to Ukraine, and they should be able to buy their weapons. And they have absolutely said, excuse me, what they're why they want these long range missiles is so that they could target Russian oil and energy plants. They're not attacking citizens, not like Russia, right? They want to target those things. I wonder, I wonder what do we have any cards that we can pull? How successful is Zelensky going to be?
Well, I'm just thinking, Trump is saying sanctions on all the oil things in Russia, and Zelensky is basically saying, "Hey, I'm right there with you. We want some bombs to get rid of him."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It feels to me like it's a possibility. It's kind of like 60-40. There's a good possibility, but it depends. I don't trust what Trump says about the sanctions in the first place because he's been talking about it for so
No,
long and never comes through. But
exactly.
if he was serious, and I think Zelensky's just taken that opportunity to say, "Hey, good idea. You know what? We could bomb them, and then we
Yes,
don't have to worry about sanctions."
exactly. Exactly. I think, okay. I think that what they what Trump did by saying no to the tomahawks, by not going in there with sanctions for Russia a lot sooner. I mean, at this point in time, you know, I if he if he told me that it was nighttime, it was dark outside, I'd get up and I'd go check the window. Like, you know, don't believe anything he says. I
Right.
think this is now a leadership battle, or going to be a leadership battle, um, between the between Zelensky and Trump. And Trump isn't going to like it because there's global governance involved. Other countries are involved. Other countries are looking at this. I think there's a very good possibility that they get that. And Edward Kenneth said that Sweden has signed a letter of intent to provide Ukraine with up to 150 Saab Gripen E fighter jets. Well done, Sweden.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well done.
we all like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Well, absolutely. Okay, do you ladies pull cards? Go.
I got Knight of Swords, so they're looking to take action and stand up for what the truth is against Putin, who's, I mean, he's all man of lies, right? Just like F-45. And Zelensky's like, he's ready to basically leap off the cliff, right? Once he leaps off, there's no going back. So he's getting ready to take action, holding the truth on his side, basically. And then I got the Knight of Wands. So there's a lot of chaos going on, obviously,
Yes.
all of this chaos. And he's kind of taking a moment to figure out, what are the consequences? What are the agreements? What are the plans? What are the, what's going to happen after this is done? How does that benefit? So he's taken a moment to like gather everything and make his plans and make sure they're secure. And then King of Cups. And this I feel like is Zelensky. And, because he's very emotionally stable. That man is a rock.
Yes.
And very balanced individual. I have so much admiration for him. I can't even, and his wife too. And he's King of Cups in this scenario and sitting back and has full control and balanced energy. He's assessed all of the consequences and everything that could happen. And when he gets ready to move forward, he's going to know every plan A, plan B, plan C consequences of moving forward after. He's going to have it all laid out. But yeah, I think he's actively looking to make that plan happen and get this war done.
Absolutely. Perfect. What do you think, Cleo?
I feel like what you guys are talking about is the perfect solution, but every time we see something that looks like it'd be so good and then Trump screws it up, and he does, he just totally screws it up and then looks around like, well, we could do it, but right now the country's shut down, or just makes some bizarre, and the way he's treated Zelensky in the past, I'm just like, what in the world are you thinking? And even the rest of the world. I mean, it's just so embarrassing for the United States to have some idiot not supporting Ukraine, a lot saying, like, well, he doesn't understand that if Russia was to win this war, that it doesn't stop there.
No.
It doesn't stop at that country. Goodbye, Poland. I mean,
exactly.
it just, just so many things happening that, I don't know. But I like the way this feels about when Zelensky says, "Hey, give us the means to bring this to an end," and it really sounds like that could work.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if Putin's already running for the hills because he's being attacked by drones. I love that. I mean,
absolutely. Keep him up there. Keep him up there. And I think what Zelensky is by approaching the banks now, and by the banks' willingness to listen to him, and by Sweden coming on board, I think what they're doing is taking Trump and his little hissy fits out of the equation.
Yeah.
They're saying, you know what? We came to you. You did so now we're going somewhere else. Right?
Yeah.
We don't need your tomahawks. We got something else.
Well, and that's what he's doing. F-45 is doing too, is that he's taught everyone they don't need the United States to function. They have their own alliances. They have their own agreements. And, regrettably, once he's gone, we're going to be still isolated. We're going to have to rebuild relationships and agreements again. Nobody's going to trust us for a while until they know that we've got our act together, I think.
Exactly.
You know, but good for the rest of the world for like, oh, you're not our ally? Okay, well, that's your choice. So we'll have alliances over here. You know,
exactly.
And they're keeping information from him too, which is smart.
Absolutely. Because you know that his wanting to first, he has a conversation with Putin, and I'm sure, I mean, you know, like I said, entertainment purposes only. Hey, Vlad, what do you want to know? Where that is? Okay, I'll find out. Hold on. Hey, how you doing, Vladimir? How are you, Mr. Zelensky? So listen, how's this? And then goes back to Putin. I'm sure that Putin told him, no tomahawks.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
All right, okay. Which he absolutely would. It's these people they're almost like slugs, you know, where when it came to morality, they'd have to reach up to touch the bottom. So
where's the salt when you need it?
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see what else. Okay. Here's another little tidbit. Talk about the law and order president, the guy who, according to his representative and his little mouthpiece, is the most transparent president ever in the history of presidential presidents. He just pardoned a guy named Changpeng Zhao, who happens to be the founder of Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange.
Of course he pardoned him.
Yes.
He's got to keep the Trump crypto going.
Yes.
Well, because Barron is in trouble and Melania is in trouble right now with fraud.
True.
Yeah. So this guy was sentenced in April last year, April 2024, to 4 months in prison and ordered to pay $4.3 billion after the U.S. investigation found that the company helped users bypass sanctions. Well, of course, the Carolyn Leavitt came out and said, Trump pardoning this guy is just what he's doing is he's balancing out the overzealous persecution of this man. And yet at the same time, he pardons him just at about the same time that the Trump family is depending more and more on their investment in crypto. Am I
curious too, because he started pardoning people lately? Do you think it's because he knows he's going to be exiting the planet shortly and he's trying to get all of this in before he goes? Because normally presidents wait until they're ready to leave office.
Yes.
But he's all of a sudden like kicked this into gear and started pardoning people again. And it's like, I wonder if he's trying to do this to secure his family's legacy before he kicks off.
You know, he could very well be doing that. He could. There's a part of me that thinks that he's too much of a narcissist to care about his family. He doesn't care what happens to his kids.
I agree with that.
He cares about what happens to him. The kids
and his
they're
legacy.
a reflection of him, though.
Yeah, but he's concerned about what's history going to say about Trump. Oh, he built this beautiful gold ballroom.
Yeah,
I mean, and he wants that in there. He wants to be the one, and he did all this stuff, but he doesn't, he doesn't want anybody to talk about Epstein. He doesn't want, this thing with the ICE people and all the immigrants has just gotten so far out of hand. He's allowed it. It's really horrible, totally inhumane. And for him to look around like he should have the Peace Prize, no, he should go to prison for what he's done. Absolutely, it's torturing people and some people have died, and then now this latest thing that's coming up that we talked about earlier with the food stamps and the health insurance and all these things that he is just could care less about. And this is what the American people are like, oh my God, are you kidding me? You know? And plus, we have been totally snowed about the economy.
Yes.
You know, Trump keeps coming out saying, boy, we've never been stronger and it's just getting better and better. No, it's not. Farmers in Iowa are going out of business, that we can't afford the food. The food's not being tended to because he got rid of all the immigrants. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And it was the artificial the other companies that put money into what they needed to have to sell before the tariffs got too out of hand. Plus they were eating the cost of those tariffs. So it made it look like Trump's plan was working. And he basically told them, you damn well better do this. And they did. But now it's to the point of, you know, you're taking away our profits. We are in business to profit. Everybody that's in business is to profit. And Trump is saying, no, you need to toss your profits away so that we can make it look like this tariff thing's working. No, the tariff thing is bringing money to the government. It's not bringing anything to us. And then every once in a while, I see it like maybe once a week or so that Trump will say something like, well, we may be giving some money to the American people, but you know,
it's not going to happen.
Just kind of fades away. Yeah, it's just BS.
Yeah, no, he's not going to do anything. But
he'll pocket it.
About him. He's all about him, and it doesn't matter as long as I get what I want. And really, honestly, sometimes I think that if we want him to transition quicker, we should make up a little Nobel Peace Prize and say,
put it up in the
you won. You want to go dancing in your ballroom? Look, there it is, right there. Come on, let's go.
It's right in that tunnel of light. Follow it.
Yeah. And you would just be like, oh my God, you have been made king of the universe. And no one will ever be above you.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So, and Janice earlier had said, did anyone see the felon's tweet on Untruth Social about Michael Wolff? It was basically a death threat, saying that Wolff may have to file his lawsuit from a supermax in El Salvador. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
I did catch a hint of this, and I was just like, okay, you know, I mean, but he'll get away with stuff like this continually, over and over again. And the courts will be saying, no, he can say this, he can do this, he can tear down the White House. It doesn't matter. He's the president. He can do anything he wants, and we're going to support him in it. And I'm very, very concerned about the Supreme Court and all he's done, all they've done to, you know, this would not have gone on to this length if they had followed the law and done what a normal, rational person would do in this kind of a situation that Trump continually he just rolls over everybody. He never talks to Congress and says, this is what I plan to do, because he feels like it's a waste of time. He's going to do it anyway, so it doesn't matter what Congress says. This has got to stop.
Go ahead. I would say that's why he wants it shut down now. He doesn't want it to reopen, because as long as it's not reopened, he can do whatever he wants and doesn't have to even pretend to ask permission. Not that he does anyway, but
right. He doesn't even pretend to ask.
No. He does whatever he wants to do and whatnot. The idea of,
can you imagine if Obama did that to the White House?
Oh,
can you imagine that? I mean,
any president, any other previous president,
especially Obama. Yeah,
they skewered Obama because he wore a tan suit.
I know.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And this, I think that all of them, all of the people that are complicit, the Supreme Court and some of the judges and so on that are in place, they know that their time is limited. They know that they need to sock away as much as they can and get out of Dodge before the shite hits the fan, because they know that it is. They know that it is.
But they still think that they can't do that. They're going to protect Trump to protect themselves. So it's just, it's this ongoing circle of illegalities, basically. And so they're going to, they're feeling really good because they got Trump to say something. Trump backs them up. They back him up. So they're the most powerful people in the country. So what can you do? They don't think you're going to be able to do anything. I got a surprise for them. I think when somebody like Jack Smith starts talking about what's really happening, when these Epstein files actually do come out, when we hear more about what did happen to the secret files that Trump stole, and did he use them to his advantage? Did he get people to pay him for information that he had that was secret? These kind of things, when they come out, it's going to be great. But when in the hell is it going to come out? I mean, I'm still hearing people talk about. They talked like in September, at the end of September, something big is going to happen. Didn't really.
Yeah.
Events occurred that will put a nail in the coffin, but it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. Now they're talking about the end of October. Other people are talking about the end of the year. I'm thinking we'll just keep pushing it out. Because I don't think anybody thought in the end that the courts and stuff would go along with this illegal stuff.
It's going to be when the survivors, come out, and when we find that some of the justices are on the list.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Boy, that'll be something if they get that out.
Yes. And, there's a lot of things that that they can lie about right now in terms of who's getting support and who's not, and so on and so forth. And they can put up all kinds of distractions. When you start taking away people's livelihood, their ability to have a roof over their head, to feed their children, it is his supporters that are going to take him and all his little cronies down, because they're going to be mad, and they're realizing more and more every day that they have been lied to, that they have been used, that they have been abused, that when he talked about, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm the law and order president and I'm going to get rid of all the illegal aliens, what he meant was, if you're not blonde and blue-eyed, I have no use for you. That's when they're all going to come together, and that's when they're going to be angry, and that is going to make them dangerous, because they're going to be at the point that they've got nothing to lose.
Well, it's like putting a rat in the corner. I mean, eventually, you keep poking at the bear, it's gonna get pissed, and it's gonna come back at you, and But how long is this going to take? I mean, we thought really by now that something more dramatic would be, that we would see something up front. Maybe not exactly the way we want to see it, but we would see more. Instead, we're just seeing the same old crap just going over and over, but new stuff, but different than yesterday, but just as bad as yesterday.
Yeah. And like I said, most of it can be, you can blame the Democrats, you can blame this one, you can blame that one. And for his base, because they're the ones that are going to have to take him out. For his base to do anything, they have to be pushed to the point where there is no explanation that is going to be good enough.
Yeah.
Where they're going to feel like they've gotten that gut punch, and then it's going to be OUSOB.
And there's still, it's so frustrating because I still know and hear so many megas that are just like, there's nothing that's going to change their mind. When Election Truth Alliance comes out with information, when the survivors come out with information, when people outside of the United States come out with information, when all of this stuff happens, they're still going to be like, oh, well, the election was rigged in 2020. They didn't believe that, which is the other thing. Have you noticed he started pushing that again? And I think it's because he knows information is going to start coming out, and he's trying to get ahead of the curve and prep his base not to believe any of it because,
Yeah, you're exactly right. Jack Smith is going to be the one to bring it out. Yeah. And that's the information that he's got tons of information that talks about that.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he got, I think when Jack Smith said, okay, yeah, let's talk about this up front, out in the open. And I want to make sure that when I tell you the truth of what's going on, that you don't turn around and arrest me for something, because that's not what this is about. You want to know the truth. You want to know what the evidence shows.
Know the truth. Yeah.
You can't know the truth. Well, the people that have done that before, they've gone, no, it's going to be private or nothing. And then they go out and say they don't want to meet with us. And, the rebuttal is, I'm happy to meet with you, but I want it public. And, there's that tete-a-tete that goes, because we've gone through this before.
Right, right.
Yeah. And yes, there are some people that are die-hard Trump fans that they have come out and said, I don't care. Whatever he does, I would still support him and vote for him. I believe them when they say that.
Yeah.
However, take away their entitlements, take away their money, take away their health care, take away the things that they are used to that have been provided to them by the blue states. And they have been convinced that this is something that Trump did. Then
they will. They'll have to think twice.
Well, and they'll listen to whatever faux news says, faux entertainment says, and whatever faux entertainment says, they'll regurgitate. So,
absolutely. And Celtic Seer said, folks focus on the U.S. getting the Epstein files unredacted. This will speed up the process. The file will be released from a foreign source. I think you're absolutely right about that.
100%.
And that's what he is afraid of.
Yep.
That it is going to come.
It's going to come from outside. I totally agree.
So that he can't do anything to stop it.
Exactly. Right. There's no political retribution if it's a leader from another country, right? So
what's he going to do? He's going to say,
I'm going to tariff you.
Well, it's just like what he tried to do with the Epstein files is not him, but the other people. When they're saying, you got to bring this information out. Well, suddenly they're saying, oh, look there's all these other people, all these. So in other words, we'll just take Trump, who is guilty of something there, and just throw him into a big pile with all these other people. So now what are you going to do? It makes
not have him as president.
Well, I know that, but it makes it look like Trump is less guilty of something.
No, they're all guilty.
A whole bunch of people. Yeah, they're all guilty, but nobody's going to take the time to go through all that. What the Congress wants to know, and other Democrats especially, they want to know, what did you do?
Yeah.
Did you get involved with underage women? Did you threaten them? Did you pay them off? What did you do?
He was a supplier from Mar-a-Lago to Epstein. Also, and that was part of their whole tete-a-tete is Epstein wanted a hotel not far from Mar-a-Lago, and there was an agreement between them, and then Epstein sold it to somebody else, and F-45 got mad, but they had this whole thing where, because at Mar-a-Lago there's a lot of trafficking, and there still is all over the world. And he would supply Epstein with. That's how Virginia Giuffre was acquired.
Yes,
where she worked at Mar-a-Lago and was acquired from there. So
Yeah, there's
Unbelievable. I mean, yes, I know what you're saying is true, and it's just so hard to keep all the
Yeah.
pieces
I know
connected in this puzzle, but it's just disgusting. It's just disgusting.
it is. If someone had told me, honestly, 20 years ago, that this is what's going to happen, and the US is going to elect Donald Trump and so on and so forth, I would have told you to adjust your medication because that is just not going to happen. And yet here we are. We're living through it, and we're living through it so that people can, they have to suffer through it in order to understand what discernment means, what truth means.
Mhm.
That, we hold people accountable for their actions. I don't care how rich you are.
Mm-hmm.
You do something wrong, you're going to be held accountable, just like the guy who doesn't have the money that you do. Right. But we've allowed so much time to pass where some people get away with something and other people get overpunished. And it wasn't done overnight. It's taken years and years and years to get to this point. It's like the frog in the boiling water, right?
Mm-hmm.
You turn the heat up slowly.
I remember sitting in English class reading 1984 and all these books
Yes.
and thinking, this is never going to happen. Like, because that was the whole discussion. I vividly remember the moment in time, which tells me something, the moment in time I had that thought in class of, this is just not going to happen. We're having to do all these hypotheticals and it's just not going to happen here. And here we are. It's like, oh man.
I know. I know.
I never would have believed it.
Yeah. I felt the same way when I started watching The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Like,
and here we are.
So, yeah. That's a little weird. Oh my God. Talk about dystopian. Oh boy, was she on drugs? And then it's like more every time you watch it, you go, holy shit.
I know. Very, especially with like in the beginning when, they kick all the women out of work and what do you mean I don't have access to my bank account? And what do you mean I don't have access to my credit cards? What do you, all of that. They need their husband's permission and, going back to, that's where they want to go with it, right? That's exactly what they want to do with it is go back to when we were created as a country where only white, wealthy, land-owning, cisgender men were in power and everybody else was not. So that's what they want.
Yeah, exactly. They want to absolutely control everything. You have your opinion is the opinion I tell you to repeat.
Yes.
And they put it out for us in the very beginning, way before Trump got elected again. It's out there. We talked about Project 2025. I did a couple of shows on it. We went through the information and everybody was just like, no, he's not. He said he doesn't even know what that is. Now he's finally come out and said, I'm a liar. I knew exactly what it was and we are right on course, and the people don't care. They're just letting that go too, like, oh, okay, that happened. All right. Well, now what? What's Trump's? Oh, we're going to have a ballroom. Don't worry.
Yes.
And it's going to look just like Russia's ballroom.
Yes. Yeah. And everybody's going to have access to the ballroom. You're all going to get an invite for $100,000 a piece. You're all going to get an invite. There you go. There you go. Well,
we know what his pattern is. His pattern is to start construction projects and then not pay people.
Yes.
And then they take him to court. So because he's gotten donations from all the tech bros. So he's going to pocket that. And then when they take him to court, it's going to be us, the taxpayers, who are going to pay that fine of him not paying to have it renovated or whatever. Right. So he's going to pocket. It's a grift. He's going to pocket all that money.
Yeah, absolutely. He's there. That thing will not be built. Not the way that it has been described and everything. No.
Well, he's going to take a dirt nap and they're going to put an end to that. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And his tombstone will say, here lies the dumbest president ever in the history of presidents.
So here's a thought for you too. curious what your guys' take is on this. So, you know how the ex-wife mysteriously fell down the stairs and had all this blunt injury trauma inside her body that is not in line with falling down the stairs. And yet, passed away, was cremated before the autopsy, then was buried in an unmarked grave, and 8 pallbearers could barely carry the cremated remains of a woman, down, and then they buried it in no marked grave or whatever on the golf course, which means he could take the tax write-off because it's now a cemetery, right? Yes. So if he supposedly, allegedly buried all the documents, files, things like that, anything he could bribe or blackmail somebody with, right? What do you think he's burying underneath the ballroom?
Oh, wow. I wondered where you were going.
Files, maybe?
Something. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If in all the years that the East Wing stood there, Russia didn't have an opportunity to go in there and plant all kinds of cameras and listen.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh. Oh.
There you go. Now is the perfect opportunity.
Oh no. I didn't even think about that.
That everything is in
let alone the Saudis and everybody else. Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah, and it's just information goes to the highest bidder.
Which is how he does business.
There is a stop to it, and there has to be. There will be a stop to it. I know there will. It's just, it's frustrating to watch it at the moment because you kind of want to shake people and go, what is wrong with you?
Really, really.
Yeah. Like, do you not see this? Do you not understand? Do you need me to draw you a picture? Do you need to bend over and have me hurt you before you finally understand what's being done to others?
Don't make me give you to Marina.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to piss a Canadian off.
No.
they have a threshold, and then that's it.
Boom, that's it. Yeah. Then those, oh God, what are they? What do they call them? Something chickens. The geese.
Come home to roost or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, never mind. Never mind. I went there and then I thought, no. Anyway, listen, we're just over an hour, and it has been absolutely fabulous discussion all the way around. So I want to thank those of you who have joined us here in the chat. Your comments and your conversation with each other is always really interesting to me because I learn so much, not only from reading everyone's comments, but to the interactions and everything that we have. Yeah, it's always fabulous for me. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the links in the video. And Cleo, Judie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to say to the chatters, in case you think we weren't paying attention, especially today, I like to every once in a while pull stuff out of the chat section. We got too carried away with stuff and went into too many different areas. But I did read what you guys are doing and what you're talking about. And as usual, yes, you talk about food for thought. Just look at the chat section. These guys know what's going on. So yes, thanks again for you guys showing up and for all your input, because it's really what keeps this Golden Girls going. Yes.
Absolutely. Everybody. All righty. Have a great rest. All righty. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.